traders, unlike today, we've actually got a lot of data tomorrow, and the main highlight is an hour before the Dow open, we have retail sales, US retail sales. So that is going to be interesting. We have an hour and a half to the close, so the Fed data is out. So we tested the star on the US jobs high, and so far this week we've got 3 lower closes. Where do we go from here? And I think we will continue low. If we close here or even lower, I would short a pullback to this monthly pivot, which is 15,930 area. Possible we might get to 950 area, but we look as if we are coming down here. Not a great risk reward ratio, or a very poor risk reward ratio for swing traders. However, intraday traders could look for any highs around this area here to get short for a proper retest of this area here, and possibly even this. I would think this monthly S1 pivot. We've got a star, we pulled back to the star, we've sold, so any pullback here is to be shorted. Otherwise, it's been somewhat more quieter. The pound has just come right back to the support pound US dollar. So we've got, excuse me, in this little run we've got a new high and a close below, but we're sitting on this pivot, on this main support. So if we see we're only just narrowly under 400. Sometimes you get little moves into the Asian session, so be aware of that. Check your daily chart when you open up. RSI is coming off the highs. It's sideways at best. There's no clear picture. Sideways to short. If you get a pullback to the 400, 425 area, we might come and visit this 162, or at the top of the box there at 162.60. So if I was to do anything, I would short the highs. Euro has been very flat, pretty flat today. That's a decent close above this resistance area, so high RSI. We could still come and touch 138.30 again. Who knows? Possibly even break through it. So a long, we're getting to be a long line of blue bars up here. Not, right from 133. We only had a couple of decent red bars in there, not a lot. So the euro, I did 2 shorts on this. I had 30 points at one stage and gave most of that back. Brought my stop down and got stopped out for +5, and then got a small stop out. The second time I shorted, I got about 10-15 points, and it just reversed. So great strength. Obviously, I was aware of this area here, the 780 and the 138 area, just looking to see if that could fail. But I will be on high alert for a failure up here, as we are just drifting that much higher and we're away from the daily 8. Yen pairs. US dollar yen coming up. This is major resistance at the highs, coming off. We're just under the 80 and 8 as we speak, so I think we'll want to come and touch 102 at least. The pound yen coming off 170, currently at 168. Decent support down here, but divergent RSI, I think we're going to see lower, at least 166, if not all the way down to that 164. Is that swing tradable? Yeah. If you look for a short at 865, and you're going to need a 135 point stop to see if you can get all the way down to perhaps this hammer down here. Euro yen. Well, that's like the euro, the US dollar. The euro yen is holding up. And look at that RSI; it's very high. So if you do start to go long on that, you are looking at buying very, very high. Pound Aussie dollar. I do like the way this has, it's holding up here. We've got a little bit of a bull flag up here. So any pullbacks to 180, we're currently 180.66. I would buy with a stop just under here just to see if we can break up. Because if you look at the Aussie US, we have failed at this area of resistance. We have you've got a few blue bars in there, and we've engulfed yesterday's price action, so this is now looking as if this could, but it's stuck in a range. This is a massive box basically. At this stage, I'm not. Obviously, the bias is to the weak side, but that is a bottom of the box. Could stay in that for a while. That's all I've got for you. Let's look at gold. Hesitant to weak as we got close to this monthly pivot. 50 MA is coming underneath us. I think we might come and visit this 1240, at which point I would buy that. I would buy that fib level and that support if we saw that again. Oil. So we came into a major area of resistance at this monthly R2, and we've almost engulfed yesterday's price action. I would leave it. I think we could, well, at least retest these lower levels, if not right down to R1. At which point I would look to buy if that held. Let's look across the indices. The Nikkei is looking very much like the pound yen, and looking like the Dow actually, isn't it? Held up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday has sold. DAX. Now we came out of this channel, the highs are selling, and the FTSE is equally weak. 3 days of selling, so it could be coming down to 64.37 area, if not all the way down to 64 where the S3 is, monthly S3. Okay, so stocks. Premier Foods has hit the 50 MA in the monthly pivot and just closed underneath it. I'm just going to let this wiggle around a bit because I would like to buy this, and any retests of the either 122 or right down here at 110 would interest me. So I'm just going to clear this chart out of the way. Have the descending triangle. As you can see here, we've hit this major resistance level from this bar over here. Okay, so I think that's got. I think we'll see some pullbacks in that. I will be interested. First group, unfortunately I sat my hands on this and didn't do anything with it because it's a lovely chart, but I will buy that monthly pivot now. 117, if we see a retest to 117, yeah, this is a big box. We came out the bottom of the box and poked back in it, so I want to buy this major support to see if this can be a false test up here. If we get up here, we may start reaching out for this area here. That's FGP, first group. Domino Pizzas had a bounce. I'm going to sit out of that one. And what else do I like? Let's look at Tesco's. That's really just this blue bar here was just a holding bar, it's turned out, because that is weak. So RSI is very low. I would sit tight. If we look as if we can hold here, we might end up with a lovely W pattern. and push back up to the 400 level, but right now that is only selling. And US bellwethers, so we got Goldman's coming back in that box, so I'm on alert for a retest of this area here, which is 155.40. Google is potentially a reversal pattern. If we close under 107.20, I wouldn't sell that. What I would do is I would look for retests of these lower levels. I mean, particularly 101. I mean, you could short. If you get a short signal, you could short that. Divergent RSI. How many boxes it ticked? Divergent RSI. Potentially a cloud if we close lower. So that's 1, 2. Coming off. We're not coming off a round number. We're not far off that 110. So it's a potential rejection of monthly R1 with a move to potentially 105. Risk reward ratio is okay, but not great. And my tendency with a stock like this is to, we've got a little bit of a funnel pattern there. We're getting squeezed in here. That might just encourage people to, once we drop out of this funnel, just to sell. My preference would be on a stock like this is to buy the lows rather than sell the highs. So I would start looking for this area here and this area here on Google. FedEx, yeah, this is definitely a distribution pattern up here. Really nice distribution pattern. All the resistance areas are there. That's shortable. Pull back to that area there, which would be 137.85 with a stop up there above the highs. Dry ships, I am interested in dry ships. I would steer clear. BlackBerry's had a couple of good days. Bank of America is now selling. I would buy down here. Come and retest this trend line, and I would be a buyer on that. Baidu struggling at the highs. Apple struggling at the highs. 3D Systems struggling at the highs. Let me show you one I had on my watch list and didn't do anything about. This is a UK stock. Let's look at FDO before we do that. This is an interesting one. Ticks a lot of boxes. Ticks 4 boxes. If we close here, we have got a hammer on 50% fibs with RSI and a 650 area. We could, of course, just continue to fall and come down to this monthly S3, but that's definitely at the very least on my watch list. If it behaves itself and closes above next tomorrow, I would consider buying XCH. This is on my watch list. I was hesitant because it's a buy high situation. There's a bull flag. We'll break above it yesterday, and that low has been bought. The RSI is very high, but this is a beautiful pattern. I would love to see this one come back down again, but so it's 125 up to 162 at the moment. So really nice going. I need to find more of those. Way to trade these is there's the confirmation bar there. So a pullback to that area there was the entry. Another way of trading it is to buy this base with a stop under the lows here, but you're not paying that much of a higher price and you're taking a higher risk. Although your risk risk reward ratio is great if it works. Sometimes these stocks can buff up against these triangles and then just fall out. So the safe option is to wait for the confirmation bar and then buy the pullback. Telefonica is just not holding up. This is not the time to get heavily engaged in the market on the long side, as we are seeing profit taking into the Christmas period. Beans butting up against the 50 EMA. Sugar has had a hell of a sell off and we keep selling. Mosaic. See how these funnels can work? You get a tight squeeze, traders trading the range, and they just give up. Just jump ship. Particularly as this is gap down anyway. And that's it for now. I'll tidy up my watch list to get my act together and then go through that with you. Otherwise, I will see you very soon.